Hello again, welcome back guys. In this case, as I told you, we are going to say some things about the hot zone climates. Alright, so how many kind of climates a hot zone could have? You can see it on this square. The different climates in the hot zone are equatorial, tropical and desertic. You can see in the equatorial climate we have a kind of landscape which is the rainforest. In tropical we have the landscape which is the savanna, and the landscape in the desertic climate is the desert. Let's start with the equatorial climate. In this case we have the kind of landscape which is the rainforest. As you can see, climate equatorial, landscape rainforest, which is what you have on your screen. This is the kind of selva or jungla. It is what we call the rainforest, and you can see the rainforest has different layers. The layer of the top, which is formed by several trees with more than 40 meters that are called emergent trees. The second layer, which is formed by a dense bulk of trees called canopy, which there are no more than 25 meters tall, and that has a very deep and dense layer of leaves and branches which prevents the light from reaching the ground. The third layer, it is the forest floor. It's composed only for a few plants like ferns that are able to adapt the lack of sunlight. And apart from the kind of landscape, what kind of climate has the rainforest? What is the climate like in the rainforest? As you can see, the temperatures stay very high throughout the year. Temperatures are represented with the yellow line on the top. So you can see it's always in 28 degrees centigrade. Very constant and very stay throughout the year. According to precipitation, are very abundant and regular all along the year. Precipitations are represented with the blue bars. Alright, and in which parts of the world you have the rainforest and the equatorial climate? So as you can see, in the place of South America, overall in the Amazonia, in some places of Central Africa, overall in Congo, and in some places of South Asia and Oceania. This is according to the equatorial climate. Let's go to another kind of climate, which is the tropical in the hot zone. And what is the tropical climate about? Let's start with a kind of landscape, which is the savanna. And the savanna is a very different landscape from the rainforest. It is composed of grass and is a vast plain found in tropical regions. And well, it is full of abundant fauna. Overall herbivores and predators. Where do we find the savanna and the tropical landscape? In much more places in the world than in the equatorial climate. You can see a big part of South America, Central America, lots of places in Central Africa, India, parts of South Asia and Oceania. So as you can see, it's very spread. In the case of the climate, as you can see, temperatures are always high. You can see with the red line, temperatures are never below 16 degrees centigrade in the average of the year. And according to the precipitation, you can see rainfall is very heavy but irregular. As you can see with the blue bars, the month of April and the month of May are the most rainy months. For example, in August and September, the rain is scarce. So temperatures are high all the year, and precipitation are heavy but irregular, because there is a rainy season and another dry season. Dry season used to be August, September, October and November, and the rainy season the rest of the months of the year. What kind of animals are there populating the savanna? So, as I told you, the herbivores on one side, like the like those kind of animals, giraffes, and also the predators that, for example, are the lions or the tigers. But all in all, are full of animals of different species. So the savanna is a very rich territory according to fauna and also flora. This is according to tropical climate. And at last, but not the least, we have the desert climate. What kind of climate and landscapes has this kind of climate? The desert has, as you suppose, the landscape called desert. So the desertic is the climate, the desert is the landscape. As you can see, it's very arid with no plants, no animals. So it's populated less. The kind of climate is very different. During the day, temperatures are always high and can be over 50 degrees centigrade. So are very high temperatures. But on the other hand, at night they fall very sharply, because temperatures could go below zero at night. So there is a very high difference of temperatures only in one day. As you can see, temperatures are too high in the day and too cold in the night. But according to precipitations, there's no precipitations in the desert climate. According to the places the desertic climate is located in the world, you can see in North America there are several deserts, like the one in Nevada, the one in Mojave, and other kind of deserts, the one in California, etc. Also, there are deserts in South America. Also, in Africa, which is the greatest desert in the world, which is the Sahara, and in the southern Africa, the Kalahari. But also in Oceania, specifically in the Australia island, and also in the desert of Arabia and some parts of Asia. So it's very extended and very spread, that kind of landscape all over the world. As you can see, the fauna we are going to find in the desertic climate is overall the camels or the dromedaries, that are animals specifically prepared and very well prepared to traverses and journeys through the desert, with an amount of water on his back, traveling with them. In the middle of the desert, we can also find a problem, like is the lack of water. The desert is famous because of a lack of water. There's no water, but you can find some places, specifically you have to look for them so thoroughly, that are called oases. In the oases you can find a lot of water that are groundwater, and a lot of houses and even settlements are located around those oases. And those oases are very proper from the desertic climate. Well, so this is the most important things and most important ideas you have to take into account about the hot zones and the climates and landscapes the hot zones have. So this is for you to study, and the next day I will ask you about that. So may you have a good afternoon, and I'll see you next day. Goodbye.